Hey y'all, Tracery here with Picture Me Living. We are on a rooftop of Jordan's apartment. Thank you for hosting us, Mr. Jordan.
Of course, of course.
You want to introduce yourself real quick, give your Instagram handle, all of that?
My name is Jordan Reeves. I'm a singer, actor, model, dancer in New York, but you know who isn't. My Instagram is at Tondurag, ATENDURAG, just, you know, Tondu, which is a ballet form because I'm a ballet dancer, and then Durag because, you know, niggas.
Wow, I didn't know that term was, thank you for explaining that.
Tondu means to stretch in French. It's,
really?
And in ballet, they always say everything begins with the plie and a tendu. So you
I know
what
a plie is.
Yeah.
I was a little girl in ballet.
To bend, of course. You got to start somewhere.
Okay, so Tondu is a stretching, and I need to start stretching more frequently. So
listen,
wake up in Tondu.
People don't understand that stretching is the best way outside of, you know, the apple a day or the blunt a day. You know, if, you know, you do your things. You know. But stretching is a really good way
to tequila a day.
Amen. Something to cleanse the liver, you know, cleanse the bodies, you know, cleanse the system.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing about stretching is that, number one, it puts you in this really good tactile relationship with your body where you really start to understand how your body moves through space, how you do things through space, how you also feel. And stretching allows you to, like, understand where the stresses in your body are and to relax them out. And then also stretching just really helps you, you know, stay in tune, and it keeps your body in a good health, like a good healthy space.
So is it like a meditation?
Yes, absolutely. Especially as like, okay, so for me, I'm a ballet dancer. I got into ballet after I graduated college. I originally went to Oglethorpe University. I was originally, you know, a dual degree biomed engineering program. Decided I didn't like it. Graduated, started ballet, got into my first ballet conservatory, brought me here. But like, one thing about stretching is just like, it's a daily practice. It's not really a daily. They tell you to do it daily, but really, you know, I've had a few physical therapists that tell me intense stretching is better to do every other day. But it is a good
stretching is better every other day?
Intense stretching. Like, you know, you always touch your toes every now and then. Just to keep yourself limber. Just to keep yourself limber, because, you know, your body muscles are just long spindle fibers, so you got to keep them. You got to keep them flexible. You got to keep them, you know, textile.
Because there's a lot of ladies listening that want to, you know, be flexible for the bedroom. So
listen,
they taking notes. What you said every other day with my notepad. Every other day.
Not only is it good for your health, it's good for your
bedroom
health.
Oh,
okay. Your healthy health. Okay. You know.
All of that.
Because, you know, sex is a very physical experience, very physical exercise. So I believe,
I would say the more that I worked out, the more intense everything became. The more intense the orgasms.
The more ballet classes I have, the more horny I am. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, after I take a good ballet class, it don't let it be a good class. I, you know, had legs and did jumps and been turning. And I was like, oh, it's a good day. After I get out, I'm like, okay, so like, all right, full some, you know. But you know, it helps. It really does. Not only does it help your stamina and, like, you know, performance, it also helps you feel more comfortable. You know, you can try the new freaky positions. You got the flexibility to try them. You know, the more freaky shit you try, the better you feel about yourself. You know,
the more intense the orgasm becomes. Yeah. I will say that. When you're able to do different things and you're shocked at yourself. For instance, for me, it's like squats, right? Squats in the gym, and I don't even count how many I can do or how long I can hold a squat hold. But in that bedroom, I noticed that, okay, wait, I'm like squatting a little bit longer than the typical 25 seconds. Like, now we at 45 seconds. Now I'm telling him, hey man, chill out. Like, I'm not done yet. And I ain't do that 3-4 years ago. So that comes from working out in the gym.
It's all a part. And there's like one thing I'm learning about. It's like people call it like the Asian squat. I don't call it that because, you know, it's a little derogatory, but it's called the goblet squat.
Oh, a goblet squat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know
a good goblet squat.
Like this way.
But people also don't understand is like not only is like the goblet squat like a good stretch you, it's also a part of a meditative practice. So it comes from yoga, and yoga of course is a meditative practice. It comes from Eastern medicine, which again is also tying in like the physical meditative aspects and also the metaphysical, and also as well as like medicine. So like when you do the goblet squat, not only is it good, it's good for like your pelvic floor, it's good for your hips, it's good for your lower back.
Because it is a stretch. I know exactly what you were talking about. So it is a stretch. So let's demonstrate it real quick for the video. Let's just do a quick little goblet so we can see we're on the same page.
Jesus, okay.
Like this, so they can't really see my toes, but you're squatting the chairs in a way. But your knees are out and your toes are out. Chest is still up, butt is poked out. Okay.
I mean, I do the ballet way. I'm used to doing it this way for ballet for turnout, but
so I do that when I do want to open up my hips, though. But like if you in do the gym, it's like more like.
So what people also don't understand is there's a tendon that goes from the bottom of your Achilles that goes all the way from there back to the back of your scapula and ankles and anchors there. People do it turned out to try to get that extra flexibility, but the thing is, like, it turned out it's like you have to develop that. So if you don't, it's better to do it turned in. So when you do it a little bit here. And you don't want to crank it. You used to do as much as you're comfortable with, and you go here and you get a little bit lower.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, because at first when I first started doing the goblet squat, I couldn't. I would get to like here.
Ladies watching, y'all know what this is good for.
The emphasis is to put your heels on the ground, both heels. So you go as low as you. Yeah, but try to get those heels in a little bit, those knees in a little bit, knees over your toes. Yeah.
Okay, because your weight is still supposed to be on your heels. Yeah.
But you want to have your heels all the way on the ground, and then you get to the bottom of your squat, and then you push your knees out, but you don't really make it really intense, just a little bit at a time.
Do a couple of practices, We know. But the thing about this, for us with sex is this is an awkward position, so we do kind of have to lean forward. But this is a good way to tone up those muscles.
Good way to tone those muscles. Good way to ride.
Okay. All right. I give all my guests an icebreaker, but since we've been hanging out, we just kind of roll right into the conversation.
We've been running the streets already, so.
Yeah, it's been a time.
Right.
My icebreaker for you, since you are from Atlanta, give me some of your favorite Atlanta songs. Just like 3 or 4.
They Know by Shawty Lo, number fucking one. Anytime that song comes on, I'm running. Yeah. I'm gonna fuck where we are. That Best to Shine by Future. What else? Lemonade by Gucci Mane. Dog.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
Okay. I mean, up here you don't hear as much recent stuff from Atlanta, from home. For real. Now I'm up here. But even though, I mean, usually right now when I'm listening to, if I do listen from something from Atlanta, it's usually like, top 40. I don't try to listen to that stuff. So of course I'll try to pop into like a good Gucci Mane mixtape whenever he drops. You know.
Yeah, no, that's us. Yeah. So now that you live here and you're almost a New York native, kind of, sort of. What's some New York favorites?
Well, number one, I don't want to call myself a New York native because I also want to respect the fact that, like, I'm only here because a lot of, like, life circumstances lined up in a good way for me to be here. Like, it's kind of like chance of a lifetime thing that lined up for me to be here. But in order for me to have that chance of a lifetime for me to be here, a lot of New York natives were displaced, and I don't really like that. I kind of came up here. I kind of came up here trying to, like, I kind of came up here trying to, like, I was trying to get better healthcare because healthcare in the South, as we both know, is rather abysmal. Yeah. So, number one, I do want to say that, like, I don't want to be like I'm a native. I just want to be like I'm a person who is here to appreciate what has been here before I got here. But my good New York song, it's like, no shade, I wasn't that big of a Nicki Minaj fan until I moved here, started hanging out with all the Brooklyn girls, all the Queens girls, all the
I'm a fan because when I was in the Navy, that's when she, just broke a glass ceiling. I would say a glass ceiling. And she was mixing. When she dropped the album, I was like, Starships, not on it. I wasn't really a pop Nicki fan. But I understand why she had to.
Right, because you got to do that to get that global fan base. Era, right, you had to.
I'm a Lady Gaga fan.
Right, so you got to do what you got to do.
But because I'm a Lady Gaga fan, I didn't want my rapper to also be Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
So I had to stay off Starships in that whole era. And then I was back a fan, back in the Bees in the Trap. However, she's mean now.
My thing about it is like
she's a mean girl.
I feel like she's a mean girl, but I also feel like she's also trying to play into that classic like New York rap persona. Like at the end of the day, like rap started as like having beefs with different rappers and whatnot.
She be picking beef.
But then when you think about it, it's like, but when you think about like, but we also think about like rap originated in New York. So at the end of the day, she's kind of paying homage to her culture in creating that beef or whatnot. She's being old school, classic New York rap. So when because people, you gotta remember, people was also saying like, you know, Nicki was selling out. So by her causing all that drama, she's actually being a New York, you know, rapper. Period. But my only issue is just like her aligning herself with like stupid dudes, like her current husband or like Tekashi, or just like every time that like there's like some problematic man and she's always running to like align herself with her. It's like I get that, like you're trying to do that because like, you know, like men are allowed to be problematic, but women aren't. But at the same time, baby, like they would not do that for you. So why are you doing that for them?
I ain't gonna speak on the husband because they got a beautiful baby, and you know what, we gotta leave the family alone.
Right.
But the Tekashi, it's specifically after the jail sentence. Like, really, Nicki? Like, you finna do this?
Like, for real? Like, you have all the reasons not to.
After this, like, I ain't gonna lie, I'll unfollow her. I'm still a fan.
I'm a fan. Like,
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, but
problematic fave. Like, I'm never gonna not stand Nicki because at the end of the day, she's been that girl for so long.
But she did break a glass ceiling. That's why I pressed her.
And you got to give your respect where respect is due. And she was doing her thing in a really male-dominated era for 10 straight years.
Can you give me your opinion on this? She created another glass ceiling. She broke a glass ceiling, but then she created
another glass ceiling by not collaborating with any other female artists.
Because as soon as Remy stepped out of prison, it should have been a feature immediately.
Like Remy's
that bitch, and then she's that bitch out of New York, and you're that bitch out of New York. Y'all both the bitches out of New York. I was waiting, and then it was a diss. And it was on Gucci Mane's song too, and I was just like, shit, I gotta like this.
You know, because you like, I don't want to like this because it's a diss for me, but at the same time, but it's Gucci, so I gotta like it. You know?
Then I just be like, she talking about Remy?
No, but it's like Gucci went to high school with my auntie, dog, so I gotta rep the home team.
Listen to that song, but I was disappointed, and then Remy came and ate her ass the fuck up. And they should have immediately worked it. But I think Remy doing that broke the glass ceiling for Cardi. Dropped the bomb.
Honestly, my thing about Cardi is like, if we want to talk about Cardi B, you also have to bring in the fact that she is light-skinned and Afro-Latina. Like, you have to bring up the fact that that's what makes her mark. Like, her bombastic personality, I love her. She's funny. Yeah. She's got the talent. She knows.
I personally think that's what it is.
She's funny. She has an ear. No matter what you say, Cardi B has an ear for a hit. She knows when she knows what a hit is, and she'll get her ass on a hit song.
Even on her least played songs, like I listen to Press in the gym, right?
Still a bop.
It wasn't a number one hit. It wasn't really played on the radio, but I mean, what the shit that she was saying, like "Ding Dong" must be the whip for my daughter. Like what, bitch? Like who thought of that? And then she "Ding Dong," then she whispered it. Must be the whip for my daughter. Like, she has an ear for that, and she has an ear for what we want to hear.
And that's what her gift is.
Yeah.
She even if you got people ghostwriting her rhymes, at the end of the day, she knows what a hit is. She delivers it. She performs it.
Who write me.
And if you see her in concert, no matter she's still gonna perform. Baby girl gonna perform. So my thing about it is like, I don't think that Cardi, broke another glass. I think Cardi created another glass ceiling because I don't think that Ice Spice would be here without Cardi B. She's opened another lane for that. But it's good that Cardi B is here, but it's also a little bit problematic because at the end of the day, it's like what makes... I don't
like Ice Spice.
Because at the end of the day, the only reason that Ice Spice is getting the clout that she's getting is because she's a fair ass white. She's a really fair skinned girl to the point that she's almost white, but she still has all the black girl features. It's the fact that she quote unquote merges two industries that's making her do the thing. But that's what I'm saying. That's what Cardi was able to do because Cardi again has the black voice, the black feature, but she's high skinned.
Ice Spice behind Cardi or Lotto?
I think she's the mixture of both because at the end of the day, you have to think when you talk about the rap industry, like, yeah, you need a New York act because the South has been dominating for so long, but New York created rap. So, like, they needed that anyways because there's so many acts coming out of the South. And I say that behind,
like, the designer Future situation. They definitely did the designer thing behind Future. They weren't really successful with it. They came out with a hit. They followed it up with a feature from Kanye, and then that was kind of it from designer. But he sounded looked kind of like Future.
My thing about
and that's kind of what I get from Ice Spice. Like, who are they trying to design her after?
I don't think. So I'm saying, like, I don't think like I think like we're trying to say that she's designed after a black woman, but I think Cardi B coming into the era as, you know, a very, very, very light skinned quote unquote black girl. I'm not denying her blackness, but at the end of the day, like
Afro Latina.
Exactly. So you know. So I think that she's opened that. So she's opened that lane for Ice Spice to get. Like that's their lane.
Don't like when they try to separate that. Honestly, I don't like when they try to separate. Like, oh, she's Latina. Like, no, we were all brought over here to this side of the world, split off in different areas, and that's what they look like over there, and that's what we look like over here. But we were all from the same place.
I agree with that, but also you have to understand when you talk about, you know, capitalism and things of white supremacy and whatnot, and of course things, you know, with like colorism and politics like that. When you talk about people like Ice Spice and whatnot, it's like her being that fair skin is a large part of the appeal of what made her this sellable thing. Because think about it, like when you, especially coming from Georgia, like I didn't understand that like there were actually like black, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Colombian, Brazilian. Like I didn't know that was a thing until I moved out.
Your mind is just gonna. It's like people darker than us that do not speak English at all.
But that's what I'm saying.
Desire to speak English.
And that's what I'm saying. But them putting, you know, Ice Spice on or putting Cardi B on, they're putting again that light skinned Latina image of like, you know, white Latina, this is what Latina dad looks like. But it's like, no, there are a lot of them looks like us, and that's my only problem with those two. That's what I'm saying. Like Cardi B opened that lane for
Megan would kill some shit.
But that's what I'm saying.
A break. That's the only reason why we're not hearing her right now, because she chose to take a break.
Megan would kill some shit, but again, that also, as I'm saying, like, we're talking about glass ceilings. I think Cardi B she created another glass ceiling for Afro-Latina rappers that are light skinned, you know?
Okay.
I think that Megan is also Southern rap, so she and like in Southern rap, she's that bitch. Who else is there? And now, when you think about other Southern rap women, you think about, you know, Gangsta Boo, La Chat, but like no shade, like Gangsta Boo, who's Gangsta Boo just passed, like. And like me, like, you know, growing up in Atlanta, you remember when you remember back in the day when they was putting 3 6 Mafia and Juicy, all the mixtapes in Atlanta, you know? So when Gangsta Boo died, like my auntie called me like Gangsta Boo died, and I'm like, huh? It was a big deal for us. It was a big, especially for Southern rap culture. But
it wasn't a big deal for the world.
But for Southern rap culture, like, dog, Gangsta Boo died. Like, fuck. Like I remember growing up with Gangsta. Like, you remember the first time you heard Sipping on Some. You remember the first time you heard that Memphis shit, and you was like, oh, nigga, what the fuck is this? And then Gangsta Boo came out, and you was like, who is this, dog? And now she's gone.
Gangsta was on they first songs though, so like Tell the Club. Who Run It? That's one of my favorite Gangsta Boo. Shout out to Gangsta Boo.
Shout out her rest in peace. Shout out to her family. Shout out to shout out to the start.
To the podcast audience, because you know some people are at other places. They're like, who is this? They Googling right now, but the people from Georgia, Tennessee, Florida,
you get it.
They know exactly who we're talking about right now.
And then the wild thing, especially when you think about rap culture, is like there are so many rappers out there that have a flow that comes directly from Project Pat, dog.
And you know what I like when 21 actually pays complete homage. And then who just did it? The girl. I like her too.
Doja. Doja did it in Cake.
Jesus.
Glorilla.
Gloria. Exactly. She definitely just paid homage to Project.
Cause like that, cause everyone's talking about I remember, cause someone put out a thing when like Doja Cat was rapping that Cake, make that cake, and they're like, they said that Doja Cat raps like, who they said she raps like? It was some nondescript. I was like, no, she raps like Project Pat. People were like,
they try to get everybody else credit except the people that,
Because she was like, these bitches suck. Give them an udder. I was like, that's Project Pat.
I hadn't heard it.
These bitches suck. They'll give them udder.
Cadence. And my son, he'll even hear, like, I'll play, because I'm ratchet, so I'll play some old 3-6 or Project in the car. June to get off his phone and kind of look a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, this is where this came from, baby. This your people. This is where this came from. Culture, yes. This us. Yes. This is us. Yes. Not black people. This is Southern black. This is us. Yes. Okay?
Yes. Okay? So, especially being a Southerner living in a very metropolitan area, especially you think about music, you think about culture, just being here and understanding the cultural differences of being in a large metropolis as opposed to, like, I'm from Augusta. Like, I know I have family in Atlanta, but, like, I was born in St. Joseph's in Augusta. So, like,
So, for the podcast audience, Augusta is, what, an hour and a half?
Hour and a half, 2 hours. Of Atlanta.
On the cusp of South Carolina. So, it's the South Carolina and Georgia boundary-ish.
And I'm from South Augusta.
So you're still close to Atlanta. But yeah,
because my brother used to run with Waka Flocka. My brother used to run with, like, my god brother, my brother Specs. He used to do producing and DJ for Lucci. Like, like this. People don't understand. Well, one thing I've come to understand about music culture and, like, in New York and music culture here is, like, they're rapping. People here, like, they rap people from, like, New York because, like, that's their state, but, like, in Georgia, like rap culture is your family. Like, people don't understand. Like, Gucci Mane put on so many rap acts.
Not even rap acts. Zaytoven,
producer. True. But when you think about it, but every black person in the South,
Gucci
when you think about us,
be my favorite
forever. And but when you think about us, you think about every person in the South who got a cousin who wanted to be a rapper. All of us got somebody who got some random song for one of them, just because.
He put on Nicki.
Thank you.
Minaj.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because that's honestly, because I was always listening to. This is a fun fact about Trey Shree, you guys. I was always listening to Gucci Mane mixtapes. And some of he made so many mixtapes, Jordan, and I was in the Navy at the time. My friend Cookie in the Navy with me can confirm, because she'll come home. She from LaGrange. She'll come
every time she come back, she had a new mixtape, didn't she?
She had a mixtape, but I had a mixtape from Atlanta, and we listened to both of them mixtapes. Some of them had the same songs, so it would run over the same songs with a different song on each mixtape. And then one mixtape, I don't know if she had it or I had it, but it had a female rapper, Nicki Minaj, and she was spitting in this New York, like this very New York accent. I'm like, what the fuck? So I look her up, and she had a whole mix. That's how I found out about Nicki Minaj and Itty Bitty Piggy, and we immediately started playing. We had to press rewind to learn every word of Itty Bitty Piggy, and that's because of Nicki Minaj. I'm sorry.
But then also, again, she also made Itty Bitty Piggy on Soulja Boy's beat. Yes. So again, that's Southern. Yeah, so
Atlanta. That's what caught my attention. I'm like, this is, Soulja. Wait a minute, because we were just, we were doing all that just a second ago. So I hear this New York accent over this beat, and I'm like, who is this? And I go and I look up all her other stuff, and that's from Gucci Mane. Literally a blueprint. And I you know what, a secret, I think that she still would have been successful. It just would have taken her a little bit longer.
Yes.
It would have taken her a little bit longer.
Nicki Minaj spits bars that have like 3, 4, 5 different meanings, and you really have to. And people are like, and it's funny for, of course, me being gay. Like, you hear the gay boys like, gotta go back. You need to go back and listen to Nicki because she got a bunch of different. And you're like,
Santana finna tell you, anytime she breathes,
you
Nicki just breathe. Don't nobody breathe like loud. Santana.
And it's like, and you think you're doing too much, but then when you go back and read them lyrics, you be like, no, she really is that girl.
She thinks it through.
She really, and that's my thing that makes me so mad about her, because it's like all that drama that surrounds her is taking away from that real talent. That woman has a talent for rapping.
Big
period.
Thinking, I don't think so. Big picture thinking, I think that she's still gonna go down where she is meant to go down, and she's gonna. We're gonna list, you know, Jay-Z, Tupac,
Nicki, yeah.
But then we're also gonna name Nicki.
I'm not saying it's everyone take away from her. I'm just saying it's at the end of the day, like, her talent is so magnanimous that, like, all this drama around her is just giving her a major disservice.
I think that she is, and you gotta hear me out.
I'm listening.
I think that she is a great Wendy Williams replacement. And I get it, we're going to think that that's beneath her, but I need you to think about it.
That is perfect.
I need you to think about it.
That is perfect, actually.
I need you to think about it. If somebody is willing to pay her prices, because Wendy's price got to be pretty high at this point. She is off the radio. You know, she's...
And Nicki, and the beautiful thing, because the problematic thing about Nicki Minaj, about Wendy Williams, is that she would bring up people's, like, the most, like, interior dirt that don't need to be talked to anybody, even their own family. She bringing that up. Nicki Minaj,
she ran up on Whitney.
And it's like Nicki Minaj ain't even got to pull up your dirt. She's gonna talk to you crazy because it's her. And I think that's what's going to be good, because at the end of the day,
A-list about her, and I think that she is Wendy's replacement, and I think we need to make that happen yesterday.
I think that'd be really good, because then Wendy, because she could do right, and she could be very, and it could be very topical and still be a part.
People gonna sit down with her whether they want to.
Because she's Nicki Minaj, she's too out there for you not, because you want to sit down with her just to hear what she has to say, because she's just too out there.
First, just in case that happens.
Okay, that was you.
Yeah,
that was you. That was all you.
Nah, for real. And I know that she don't want to be compared to that and blah blah blah, whatever. Big picture thinking, that's a great idea, because whoever is willing to pay that price, it's gonna sell out.
My only qualm with that is just, like, I'm personally tired of seeing black women on television used as fodder for, like, drama television. Like, Wendy, the house. I'm not taking away from them. I'm not saying what they're doing is anything wrong.
Housewives anymore.
You know, and it's not because what they're doing is wrong. Because at the end of the day, they're still actresses.
Orange County or Atlanta. I don't watch any of them.
And people my thing is like, okay, Nene, another Sag legend like Nicki. Say what you motherfucking want, but Nicki is a cultural... Nene Leakes is a cultural icon.
Because put Nene in every situation on the Shade Room. It don't matter what the situation is, Nene is going to fit into it. And then even when you say, well, how did I get into it? It's Nene.
And people have to understand, it's like, Nene came out at the literal invention of Twitter. Nene, New York Tiffany Pollard, dog. Those two black women have structured so much of American social culture. It really should be studied. It really should be studied. Like, just the sayings they have, the way that, like, I said what I've had. I said what I said. No shade. That literally has changed, like, the context of people's conversations now. That people are still to the point.
The only difference is Portia. Who said that? Who said that?
And it's like, and don't get me wrong. And that's what I'm saying.
Number 2 person. That's it.
And that's my thing, is like, I'm not saying that I don't want them to do that, because at the end of the day, these black women are making cultural shifts just from the way they're saying shit, and that's fucking iconic. That's fucking amazing. I just hate that there are white men in control. Not white men. I just hate that there are people who are not even big corporations, big business, big anything, just not in control of their image, and they're in control of how that is then dispersed to the population, and it's making them have to live their lives in this caricature of who they are. And I think that does a really large disservice to what they have done for society.
What you just said is a bigger picture to what you just said. It's bigger than what are they on? E Network?
Bravo.
It's bigger than that. I can travel. Matter of fact, I went to Bali. Everyone wanted to take pictures with me. I ain't nobody. They ain't give me no money for these pictures. Matter of fact, there was a night whenever the Braves went to the World Championship. I went to a bar in Buckhead. There was a girl that recorded me without my permission. I didn't like it because I was shit-faced. I literally, like, took my top off and did the whole, like I was gone. but it was in a comfortable bar where I knew the people I was with, I knew the people around me, I felt safe, and I knew I wasn't gonna be recorded. Well, guess what? I was being recorded, and this is after the shit face shenanigans. She was just recording me just talking to my friend. I look over, she got the phone up, and I'm like, you know, what's going on here? Like, I'm nobody once again. I tie that in to say that black women are sought after. Our culture is sought after. Us being ourselves is sought after. So I can do something that another race is doing, and it's just, you know, oh, well, she's doing it though. But then if I do something that my race does, like get my hair braided or get some long nails, oh, that's ghetto now. So that's kind of where I draw the line. I feel like we need to own our culture a little bit more.
It's not even about owning our culture, because I feel like black people own our culture very much. The problem is that we're giving too much access to people who don't respect our culture. Like we talk, like you, it's like, especially as a black gay man, I have so many white gay men who are quoting the Housewives to me as a place of, like, you know, us to make a report of like us as like sisters. Comfort. Number one, right? And it's like, we're not comfortable. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to have that camaraderie.
It don't even fit in. They walking up to you saying some nee shit.
Exactly.
It don't even fit into the conversation. So now I'm uncomfortable because I know what you're trying to do.
And that's what. And that's not only.
Let me actually do some black shit.
And then now you're uncomfortable, but it's like, no, this is the culture that I'm actually living, that you think is the thing, that the part that you're trying to access to look cute for your friends. No, this is what it actually is, and now you're uncomfortable, and now I have to change who I am because you're uncomfortable. No,
I'm starting to draw the line with it, and it's a lot of racists around the world that do that. I have been somewhere, I'm not gonna say where, I don't want anybody to pinpoint the location, but something I've done has been called ghetto. That's something that we do normally as black people. And I'm like, okay, I'm finna correct you because you want to wear a hoodie, right? You can wear a hoodie and that's comfortable for you, but Trayvon couldn't wear a hoodie. You know what I mean? So like, then it was ghetto, then it was a threat. So we need to really change that. We got to really draw the line, and we got to protect our black culture because it is so easily accessible, and it's cool, but then when it ain't cool to them, it's ghetto, because it's negative.
It was wild because like when I first moved here, I used to be a nanny, right? And I was manning these two little girls. And one time I was talking about
really cool.
And I used to talk about the word, and I was saying, I was like this one girl, the one little girl, she's like, you know, that's ratchet, whatever did it, and the other little girl corrected her. She's like, you can't say that. That's out right now. Like, people aren't saying that right now. And I turned to the both of them. I was like, honey, it was out. Oh shit! I was like, it was out before the both of you got access to it. So for you to sit here.
Wind is winding.
The wind is winding down. Yeah. I was like, so for you to sit here and tell her that she, you know, is in the wrong, you in the wrong. But again, you don't know that because but you know.
Educated them.
But it's not even about education, because like at the end of the day, there's only so much education you do. Is the problem is that like media culture needs to have more of a respect for black people. If you're gonna treat us as this cultural fodder where you get all of your music, your society, you know, impulses from, you know, your fashion, all these things from, then you need to give that respect to black people, because at the end of the day, especially when you think back to times of like, you know, antebellum, you think about slavery times. At the end of the day, like, black people literally built this country. So everything you talk about us regarding our culture, our appearance, everything needs to be conversed with a little bit more respect.
We need a little bit more credit, yeah.
And it's just like, and it's like the rest of the world doesn't have to give us credit, and that's fine. You don't have to give us credit, but understand, if you don't want to give us credit, then you need to understand when we have our things that are for us.
And like I said, that's why I draw the line. And I'm either finna educate you, or you're not gonna do that with the next customer, because we did this, and this is our culture. And you know what, if you want to call me ghetto, that's fine, because I own that shit in Atlanta. But right here, it's an upgrade. I'm gonna need you to address it as that. I don't need you to address it as a downgrade, like, ugh, that's ghetto. Like, wow, that's ghetto. Baby, I want to be ratchet.
But either way,
say that.
In Atlanta, it's still an upgrade, baby, because we are what made ghetto and ratchet the thing that they are. Understand?
No, that's why I love Atlanta.
Because thank you. That's what
we can be our true selves.
And my one thing that I'm really not liking is, like, of course, like, I'm in New York City because like I have opportunities and whatnot, but there's so many people who are moving from New York City to Atlanta because like it's cheaper. But it's like, number one, Atlanta doesn't have the infrastructure for all you newcomers at the same time. Atlanta's a very old, very decrepit city, and number two, to mention, like, Atlanta's a very green city, so for to be cutting all these trees down to put all these buildings up, that stresses me out. And then also number 3.
Pushing it back. That's why I said I got invited to a house party in fucking Macon. Like, I'm not going to that.
Right.
I'm not going to that.
But you know, greater society is gonna make Macon its own new neighborhood, but not the city that it actually fucking is.
Up and coming.
Right.
That's what it's gonna be like.
Right. And it's especially just like, as a black person.
Up and coming, and my black ass ain't gonna be there. I'm not up and coming nowhere near.
Okay, because Atlanta was already up and coming when we were here.
Yeah, Fulton County only.
You only thought he's up and coming because there are people who aren't black here. But honey, it was up and coming when we were here, because if it wasn't all that, then you wouldn't be moving here in the first place.
Right.
But especially living here, it's a little. It feels like a little. It's not. I feel a good word is like oxymoronic is what it feels like living here, because it's just like
oxymoronic. Okay.
I'm here for the opportunities and the things that I know I couldn't do in the South. But don't get me wrong, if they were in the South, I would have
out of here. Yeah.
If they were there, if they were there, I would have stayed. And
everyone asked me that. They were like, "Would you move? Like, if you met a guy and y'all finna get married, would you move to like Houston or LA? Maybe LA, because I like the mountains and the beach. That's it. But my heart is in Atlanta. I don't give a fuck if somebody broke my heart in Atlanta. I don't give a fuck if I lost money in Atlanta. But ain't nowhere you gonna get your culture. We just talked about this with a previous guest. If I go get some wings, a black person owns it. If I go get my gynecologist, black person. Even
my dentist was black. My psychologist was black. Okay.
My realtor is black. Everybody is black.
It's black.
Everybody. I mean, if I go to American Deli, they Asian. But when I go to B&L Wings or BBB or Boogaloo or any black-owned business, it is a black person. But if I go get wings in LA, it's 98% chance it's not black.
And people want to talk about like, well, black or white, black or white, black or white, black or white. It's like, not only is it like me supporting my people, it's also just at the end of the day, like, I know if I go to a black-owned business that's a chicken establishment, I know they're gonna have hot sauce there as opposed to like ketchup. Like, no, like I need to have those soft skills in my restaurants. I need that. It's part of the ambiance. And like, one thing about Atlanta is just like, I remember as a kid like going places in Atlanta and seeing nothing but black people. It was one of the only places I could go.
I thought Atlanta was a whole world when I was a kid.
As a kid,
because the city was right there. I seen the city, and it's probably New York behind us. But I seen the city on TV, and I walked outside in the projects in Atlanta, and I seen the same city. So shit, this it.
And everyone I would see was black.
I books, and I read about Paris, the Eiffel Tower. What the fuck is that?
But again,
like, wait a minute, it's other places,
but again, and then for me to move from Georgia to Ohio, because we moved to Ohio when I was 9 before I came back to college, and like for me to like move and go to school with black kids, and then go to school where I was the only black kid, and like like one of my friends, John, right?
That's good. Mentally though.
People say that is
in the long run it is. You might not agree with it.
People say that it's good mentally because they think that you're being exposed to like, different like, culture and reading and whatnot. But for as much as I was exposed to in the good, I was exposed to in the negative. Like, growing up, like being the only black kid. Like, it's like, okay, so one of my friends, John, we're going to meet him tonight when we go to that when we go to the Reggaeton Club, whatever. Okay. John and I, his mom and my mom introduced us to each other because we were the only black boys in the city limits.
You lying.
In the school district.
You went from Augusta, Georgia to that.
And Augusta, I was in South Richmond County, which is literally, they just named it one of the blackest cities in the country, dog. Yeah. And I went from that to white, to like very Caucasian, milk toast, very middle-bred, very white Ohio. And I was just like, so they introduced us and we didn't become friends until we got older, but just at the end of the day, just like, and like as we're older, like again, like when they first introduced us, John and I were like 11. We're in our 30s now, and that's for now to look back, and for us to look back now 20 years ago and be like, dog, like they were introducing us because like we weren't just the only like black kid, we were the only black boys in the district, and everyone was saying
it was the only black boys going through that same experience.
And that's another thing people say that is better,
and
but understand.
That's a lifelong experience. I told you, big picture. I literally, and I didn't even know that, but I literally, because that's how the Navy was for me. I ain't see nobody until I joined the Navy at 18, and it was Mexicans, Asians. It was a girl named Agahi Malieri, that was her last name. We couldn't pronounce it. We called it A13. She had 13 letters in her last name. When I tell you she was fine as hell, everything was perfect on her. She was from like Iraq in boot camp with me. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry if you listen to this. Let me know where you're from, but it was definitely somewhere there in that Middle Eastern. And I was just like, wow. And not only was it, you know, white girls, Spanish girls crying at night, but it was black girls crying. They wanted to go home, their mommy. I didn't understand that. So I was exposed to a lot at 18 that I hadn't seen my whole life in Atlanta, and it humbled me. I have no idea if I can get through TSA with these clips in my head. We about to try. My hair isn't all the way dry. I really got through with all these clips. He said, how many you got? Diana picked us up Sunday. I don't know. Are you recording? To Augusta to pick up her mom, then they drove up here to visit my nephew. There you go. Yes. How you get the top? No, you gotta get the front. You gotta get the front. To the back. Like. Are they alive? And then they hit the Mercedes. So you say so. Huh? I'm gonna take a bite of yours. Okay. Wait a damn minute.
And I was coming from that street and I was going to the
It's New York, the fuck? What you want to $20 for? You know how expensive real estate is here?
I would normally take the steps too, but I was like, I don't think everybody don't do that.
I can see it in your face.
Yeah, look at the step together. They sick of us walking around no bra with our nipples out, so they put the titties in the shirt. Of course.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to make a cute video for Instagram. And we are. Ain't nobody down here. All them babies was at the pool though.
Yeah. Sex. Y'all
Because they do threesomes. He
What
do all that.
Jordan?
I said one night stands ain't really a real thing in straight communities because straight men. What did I say? I don't even remember now. Shit.
You out of town.
They're around.
What you say about us being disappointed by straight men?
Oh yeah, there's no point in y'all having one night stands with straight men because y'all gonna be disappointed anyway. They don't know nothing about sex. They don't know nothing about pussy.
Wait, I ain't take my shit. I ain't take my shit.
Girl, we out of town.
Thank with a round.
Okay.
My pussy pink.
Booty hole. Round.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? That's the last time. That's we ain't even went nowhere. We ain't went nowhere.
Oh shit. Okay. No, for real, we gotta meet my friends. Come on, y'all. We gotta go eat. Come on. Take your shot, girl. Let's go.
She got me crying.
Okay, same.
Look, we over here crying. Now she's sipping the shot.
Ryan, come on.
I always
Not
sip
you
my
taking
shot.
these biblical shots. Come on, we ain't drinking wine. This is not communion. We gotta go to the restaurant.
I feel bullied right now.
What kind of shot?
I feel bullied. I feel really bullied.
Did he say she's taking biblical shots?
We ain't communion.
Well, I mean,
You out of town, thinking with the right.
I wasn't doing it in the booth.
That's how I activate y'all. That's how I activate y'all.
Hey, we are currently at Tiny's Cantina by me, eating some food and getting drinks. So if y'all want to come up here before we go up here, that's fine.
He will behave.
What do y'all have today?
Is it spicy?
No,
Yeah.
it's not spicy, it's just good.
It is spicy. You got a little kick.
Oh, because it got the tahini on it.
Yeah. I like your quesadilla. Everybody clean their plate. Everybody clean their plate. Y'all act like y'all been drinking all that.
We have. Look, and we all looking at our drink like, who want to drink y'all?
Cause I can't even. I can't. She can't.
I don't drink, I imbibe. I'm on holiday, okay? Drinking is for whenever you're on your regular day. I'm on holiday, so I'm imbibing.
But you live here.
I'm still on holiday.
I threw in the middle rock on that bit. Step outside the door. We gotta get out of here. It's on the right side. We're on the search for a burger. Because the reggaeton party was not it. On the right side. Okay. It ain't sticky rice. Yes, right here. With the 70s music. I can do this. I can do the 70s music for sure. You said you were sure, bitch.
No, it's coming from this side of the road.
That don't match that car at all. We gotta continue to investigate. Where's the burger smell coming from?
Shoulders forward. And the real point is to get your heels on the ground and keep them there.
Okay, so this is my thing. So the dick to vagina ratio, the circumference.
So when you gotta do the scope, you gotta do the scoop.
Yeah, we gotta. So that's why we put the weight on the toes. You see the weight on the toes, so
you see how you can pivot? See, you got
weight.
Okay, right.
You gotta do the right, stab,
right.
Let's put Benson in stable. That's why the police over there. That's Benson in stable. Oh wait, they everywhere.